All right, welcome to round number 2. Our hand looks fine, so we will definitely be keeping it. We are on the draw here. Bird of Paradise. Going to take that down before our opponent gets to use that. Try to make our remand a little better by slowing them down. Duskwatch Recruiter. Well, we don't have an answer to that, unfortunately, and we really don't want it to flip. That's actually quite annoying. I don't want to have to opt here on my main phase. I want to leave up Remand, but Remand is certainly a lot less powerful when Duskwatch Recruiter is on that backside, since they'll likely be able to double spell much easier. So I think I'm going to have to opt here, but I'm not very excited about that. Drew a land. P&K will probably be reasonable here in this matchup. See if our opponent just flips this Duskwatch. I wish I had a bolt for it. Devoted Druid. Yeah, we're in some trouble. We don't really have any answers. I guess the best thing I can do is just leave up Remand here, which is not great, but they are taxed on white sources, so if they actually have the Vizier to cast, that would be fine, and Cord would be just as taxed as well. Obviously, this doesn't help with that. So, yeah, I guess we're just going to fetch a Steam Vents tapped this turn and hopefully have Remand up for whatever their play may be. But that's not a very good long-term prospect for us. We kind of need some more removal. That's the problem with actually killing birds against these Devoted Druid decks, is that they still have plenty of 2-drops, and more importantly, Devoted Druid is just so important to kill. But it's hard blind. I mean, most bird decks are going to be Druid decks, but certainly not all of them. It's hard blind to not just say, well, we're on the draw. It's important to bolt this bird, but sometimes if you know the matchup, it changes that paradigm a little bit. Yeah, not really willing to slam P&K here. However, what I didn't give enough consideration to was playing an untapped land this turn so that I could Deceiver Exarch, untap a land, Remand. Yeah, this is not good. Kind of needed to draw a bolt there and didn't, so I don't really see us coming through on this game. Yeah. They whiffed. Wow. That's crazy. Well, Snap Bolt should help, but we have to decide what's more important at this stage, right? I mean, I guess Snap Bolt flips the Duskwatch Recruiter back to its other side, and then we have Snap to block. So it's probably most important for me to just kill this Devoted Druid. Also, I can Deceiver Exarch, untap a land, Snap Bolt. Which I guess is my best play here, so I have another blocker. Wow. We certainly have drawn a lot of lands this game, but that was very timely, and our opponent missing on company is just insane. They do have another land, though, and it is Gavany. A new Devoted Druid, but we're... Oh, I was going to say, we're getting close to the point where we can P&K that to death in the same turn as playing P&K, but we weren't quite there. Electrolyze, however, is nice. It'll give us the ability to do that. Yeah. Unfortunately, our opponent knows to counter our Electrolyze so we don't get to draw a card, but there's really nothing to be done there. I can't really... I have to do it on my own turn so that these don't flip if I want them to remain on this side, which I think I do. 3/3s would just be so much more problematic, just attacking at this point, ignoring even all the text that they have on both their sides. And on top of that, it doesn't really matter. I need to kill that Devoted Druid anyway on my own turn, so we just don't get to draw. Blood Moon here is interesting. I don't know. It's got to be more important to leave up P and K mana, but I'm really worried about this Township. So it actually may not be. The problem, of course, is my opponent can get, like, Druid Vizier off of a company here. They also didn't attack, right? So that would just signify... No, they didn't attack because I hadn't flipped yet. Never mind. It made no sense to attack there. So in that case, they could have Cord. They could have Company. I assume they have one of them with 3 cards. Probably Company. I think I need to take the risk and just go for a Blood Moon here rather than leave up the P and K mana. This Gavany is going to be hard for me to beat in a fair game anyway if they Company, and it's pretty unlikely that they aren't able to activate it next turn between, like I said, Company and just the possibility of them hitting their land drop, right? They can get any dork off of a Company, whether that's Devoted Druid or Bird or Noble, and use that to activate Gavany, and then, of course, can just draw a land as well. So I think we need to turn that off. Flip these Dusk Watches back over as well, which is another huge advantage of playing the Blood Moon rather than leaving the P and K mana up. And with our opponent thinking there and then not taking any actions, makes me think that maybe they have a Company and a Cord, and they've elected to Company, since they would have needed to, like, respond. I guess they might have been thinking about whether there's any reason for them to respond with Company here, but Ewit Kitchen Finks is going to be pretty hard to beat as well. Yeah. So they probably Company... Depends on whether they want to play around Counterspell or not. They probably Company on our upkeep if they want their Dusk Watches to flip and want to sort of play around Counterspell. Interesting. I'm fine with this attack. We're going to double block one of these and block one of these. I think I'm going to let this through for now. I guess I just don't want this to flip, honestly. It's just so much harder for me to deal with, but I could do this instead. Take a little less damage, get rid of the 1/2 of the Finks. I could even trade with this. I might not need the P and K activation. That's risky, though, since they're going to get to Company again. I could also double block Thopters here. I don't really like that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to block like this. And leave the P and K activation for dealing with problematic creatures. Opponent's just going to Company now? Sure. Jeez, another Ewit. And the Vizier. Yeah, so I got punished for blocking here. More incentive to have made that double block there. Opponent gets free life and kills a Thopter for free. But yeah, hitting back-to-back Ewits there is pretty bad for me. That Kiki-Jiki, though, is very good for me. Yeah, so we're going to just be leaving up P and K mana this whole time and tap my opponent's team. Yeah, I'm going to tap my opponent's team. Another Vizier. Okay. So it looks like we got it. Always yield to that. All right, looks like we're going to be here for a few minutes. It's bound to happen, though. Okay. Opponent has conceded. So I definitely like Staticaster here. Definitely like Anger. Explosives is respectable. Keranos is interesting. I like the P&K quite a bit. Jace is interesting. I want just max removal. Those are coming in, even though they're a little clunkier. Dispel hits Cord, Coco, and Path if our opponent has brought it in. And relics are respectable. I don't like negates here. Gonna want to shave on some amount of cantrips here. Remands on the draw against this deck are going to be quite bad. Blood Moons are respectable. I like the Electrolyze. And I don't really want to shave on the combo. Cryptics could get shaved here. Potentially. I think I really like the Keranos here. Opponent basically has no way to deal with it, and just repeatedly bolting my opponent's team is obviously one of the better things I can be doing. Click. How do I feel about something like Vendilion Click? Probably pretty good. I don't know how I feel about the Cryptics being out. It's nice that it makes my mana constraints a little better when I'm siding in like additional double red cards. The tap my opponent's team mode is going to be like the best mode of my Cryptic in this kind of a matchup most of the time. I've got the Dispels for countering the more relevant things. I think I'm just off the Cryptics. Relics against these decks are kind of unexciting, except that they have what, like Ewit and Kitchen Finks. Ewit being even a bigger problem than the Finks. But obviously Finks is quite annoying for us as well. I think I would like to have them, but don't know that I'm going to find room. Snapcaster is like one of my better cards in the matchup alongside this much removal. I could potentially shave some of the combo, but it feels like that's probably how I'm going to win most games. I don't know that I have enough removal to beat their value plans. Maybe if I had consistently had relics, I would, but maybe I'm relying more on the combo than I should be. It's just that my opponent doesn't have that many ways to interact, and I'm bringing in Dispel anyway. So yeah, I guess we'll run it like this, but I think these relics are respectable here. I also think that Explosives is respectable, but my opponent has plenty of 3-drops. I mean, they likely have enough 2-drops to make it good, but I'm gonna keep this with my opponent mulliganing. I think it's again one of those where like if I had Lightning Bolt, the hand would be insane. But I have Wrist instead, so it's pretty slow. But I think we're okay with that overall, and we'll give it a shot. All right, opponent's hand is quite slow as well. Probably means they have a lot of their grindy elements, which is going to be tough for us, but Probably grab a basic island here. This is definitely looking like a game where Blood Moon would be great, and we want to be able to support it. We do have some double blue in our deck right now. Bolt and Kiki, both of these are excellent. So let's top both of those. I'm willing to bet that my opponent has a path in their hand. Could be Kitchen Finks, could be Ewit here. Sin Collector. Alright, you get a roast. Definitely going to want to leave that Kiki-Jiki on top. Opponent shocks here. Makes this attack, which is interesting. I'm going to signal Lightning Bolt rather than tap a land here. Opponent companies. Sure. I don't know why they're making this attack. I don't know, like, what they're going to hit off of this company that makes this deck profitable for them. I guess they could have, like, Orzhov Pontiff. They hit Ewit again. So we're going to block here. And we are going to bolt this. All right. So no real interest in making an attack here. Not really the beatdown right now. I was going to say, I really don't understand this attack. I don't know why it's happening again, but looks like our opponent pulled it back. And we're in a pretty great spot, honestly. They don't know about our Kiki-Jiki. We have 2 ways to combo off, and they're going to be heavily incentivized to company here when we tap a land. So I really like our spot. Okay. Well, looks like we got there. Will not untap that. Staticaster. Kiki-Jiki doing his Kiki-Jiki thing. It's no Splinter Twin, but it does the job. All right, I'll see you in the next round.